Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Guerin, and I will lead this workshop, how to organize a digital Work Cleanup Day, because we did organize it in France last year, and we will also share our experience. And a few people will share also their experience. Before we start, I would like you to put in the chat where are you coming from, which country are you coming from, and maybe if you did organize a digital working up the previous session. So we have people from Estonia, Spain, living in Luxembourg, Estonia, la Belgique. The workshop will be in English, not in French. Estonia, lots of people. Estonia, Germany. Okay. So I have a issue with my a small issue with the presentation. Don't know why some numbers are becoming big. Just a quick overview of the workshop that we will lead today. I will make an introduction about the environmental impact of the digital awareness. After we will share the experience from 2020 digital cleanups. We will work together on what is your experience, expectation, plans for digital cleanup this year in your country. And we will share the plans for 2021, sharing from our perspective in France, but also from a global perspective at the Let's Do It Foundation. So first, I'll make an introduction about environmental impact of the digital regarding the to introduce the topic of the digital. Quickly, brief back on my background, because I'm an expert on this on this topic for environmental impact. I'm certified for France. We have a certification to work on this topic. So I'm certified and labelized to work on this topic in France. I set up my own company after working in many other companies in IT 3 years ago to treat this topic of environmental impact of IT. And I'm also involved in non-profit organization like JCI for those who know, and Work Cleanup Day for 3 years now in France, and since last year I'm leading the digital that we called in France Cyber Work Cleanup Day. So first of all, I would like to make a quick overview on the of the sustainable goals. So it's something that you may already know, but I like this this graph in a way that to remind us that the economic is part of the society and the society is part of the biosphere, and we really need to take care of our environment and really need to take care of our biosphere before almost before everything else, because if the biosphere is not properly, that we will not be able to live longer, because we need the biosphere to live as human, but the biosphere itself needs a biosphere to continue to live. So, and it's the global goals that you also already may know, most of you, and just 7 goals that has been set up by the United Nations to for a better world. And I like the graph on the right side, that to remind also the position of these global goals in this circular diagram, to also to remind that in the global goals that we have also some goals specific to biosphere, some goals specific to society, and some goals specific to economy. So today we will focus on the goals specific to biosphere, but basically digital work is impacting on almost every global goals. So is technology the solution? Many of the people will think that the technology is the solution to solve issue of the world from economic point of view, from an environmental point of view, but also from a society point of view. It can be right in some case. If we take the environmental point of view, the smart grids can be very helpful to manage better the to manage better the energy, but also the smart grid needs a lot of data centers that has impact on the environment. So we will see that later on. Technology can help people for services like Uber, but also the technology is also can be bad for some people working for Uber because they have not have social condition to work properly. Technology can be very great for sharing knowledge like Wikipedia, but also technology is not available everywhere in the world, and we have the digital divide. So the people doesn't have access to internet, doesn't have access to the technology, so cannot have access to this knowledge. And also technology can be helping us for automate a lot of things with artificial intelligence, but also can bring a lot of new issue with the Cambridge Analytica, the fact that the data has been used and to manipulate people and to manipulate elections. So today we will focus on the environmental part and why technology is impacting our environment. The first thing is that the technology is impacting because they are emitting some greenhouse gas. It's impacting on the climate, and technology digital today is representing 4% of the greenhouse gas in the world, which is the same amount of the same percentage of greenhouse gas of the aviation. The civil aviation is the same number. So you can really compare the planes with the technology regarding the digital greenhouse gas. Even through in 2020, because the aviation was down, maybe it will not count in 2020, but at the end of 2019, it was the case. The second thing is that technology is producing a lot of waste. Digital is producing a lot of waste in the world. The last study from 2020 is that the world has produced 53.6 million of tons of electronic waste. So this is a number for 1 year, and which is quite big. And the most difficult thing is that most of this waste is not recyclable. So basically, it will finish in land, and will not be reused anymore. Other thing is that the technology is using today with the data center, with all the technologies that we are using, it's using 10% of the global electricity consumption in the world. And the most important is that 80% of this electricity is produced from fossil fuel. So even if we could expect that most of this electricity is produced from renewable energy, it will be a lot of work to do. And when you connect to internet, basically most of the time you are using fossil fuels. Technology, the digital is producing a lot of, using a lot of chemical products and that are toxic for the environment. And for example, to produce one computer, you need to use 1.5 tons of water and 22 kilograms of chemical water, which is polluting lots of water, and it's impacting the fact that this water is not cannot be drink anymore. Also, the technology to extract all the minerals from the soil, we need to use to extract a lot of rocks, because most of the minerals that we are using are very small in the land, and we need to extract lots of tons of this technology to get a very small amount of these minerals. For example, we need to extract the equivalent of 1,200 tons of rocks to extract the equivalent of 1 kilogram of lutetium, which is one of the minerals that is used to build our smartphone. So how can we reduce the environmental impact of the digital and to serve the global goals? The first thing really is to work on the extending the life expectancy of your equipment, because at the moment we don't really know how to recycle all this equipment. We are producing a lot of e-waste of this with this equipment. So the main thing, the most important thing is really to keep the to extend this life expectancy. So how can we do it? The first thing is to keep your digital equipment as long as possible. So does it mean that you need to maintain it in a good condition, to clean the data, to clean the apps, to make it as efficient and to make it the longest possible. If you really need to change your digital equipment, you can opt for reconditioned equipment, which is second-hand equipment that has been refurbished, has been rebuilt to proper utilization. Also, you can go to equipment that are using environmental labels like Blue Angel, TCO, EPIT. So yeah, it's like label for equipment. So most of the company are using it now, but we need to check, because even in the same company, we can have a model of a computer that's using the label, but another model which is not using, depending also of the market. In Europe, the law is quite strict on this, so most of the equipments are labeled, but it's not the case everywhere. Also, to keep it as long as possible is to repair and you reuse as long before throwing away. So you can extract some parts of the computers to reuse to another computer. You can upgrade computers. There's a lot of way of repairing and using it as long as possible. And the last thing is to give it to an organization when you really need to throw it away, to give it to an organization who will trying to use as much as possible the component without needed to recycle them, because we don't know how to recycle them anyway. The second part is really to limit the energy consumption of with the technology. So the first, how to do it is really the first thing will be to put your computer to sleep when you don't need it anymore. So there's you can automate this computer to sleep. You can turn off unused equipment like your internet box at home when you sleep. Obviously, you don't really need the Wi-Fi anymore. You don't really need to have this box on again still. And even for the TV equipment, everything. So you can turn off when you don't need it anymore. You can limit your streaming video consumption, because when you are watching streaming video, you are using energy from your computer, but you are also using energy from the telecom that delivering the video, but also from data centers that need lot of power distribute the video and make sure that you can watch it without any cut. And so they have lots of big machines and lots of machines to make it the video working. You can store locally rather than in the cloud. Same thing, when you store data on your computer, you are not using the telecoms and the traffic, and you are not using the data centers. So it's something that you will use only the energy from your own computer. And the last thing, and which is part of the topic that we are using today, it's to clean and use data and apps because they are using space, they are using resources from your phone, from your computer. So if you don't need them anymore, just delete it. And this is part of the digital cleanup. Last thing but not least is to connect to people and the nature. Leave your phone off and do something else. So invite your friends in real life when it's possible, when there is no COVID-19. Go for a walk or run in a park, do some sports, read a book, play offline games, or do some gardening or DIY. So that's it for the small introduction of the digital impact. So now we will have some sharing experience from 2020. And I think we have some question in the chat who will reply. We have a time at the end of the session for question and answer, and we'll reply all the question if possible. So hello, I will leave you the word for sharing your experience with running digital in Estonia.
Yes, thank you. So am I sharing my screen or you are sharing, Anneli, who's I guess I'm okay. So nice to meet you all. So I'm Elo from Telia Estonia. And we have been partnering with Võrk cleanup organization together to push the topic here about digital cleanup. So how we started? We started 3 years ago. So do you see my slides? Or okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so back to the history where it all started, how Telia, a telecommunication company in Estonia, started with the cleanups. We had actually inspiration from our partner, our agency, whose designer actually had a real big problem with a huge pile of files, and therefrom came the idea how to get rid of the unwanted data and the mess in your computers. So for us, it actually started with a problem how to start talking to our employees about environmental topics. So this was the platform how we started. But already Kevin said what are the problems around this digital waste. So of course this 4% that we are creating in internet and with our devices for the whole CO2 footprint. So everyone using the internet is creating 1.7 megabytes of data in a second, and every act in internet is having the CO2 footprint. And what is concerning the companies, so from surveys that we have searched, companies are stating that they are all having a problem with unstructured data. So this 95% is the percentage of companies who is stating that this is a problem. And in addition to this CO2 footprint, this digital waste is also having other kinds of influences. So it's connected to privacy. So all our data that we are deleting and having, this is also containing private information. So how we are deleting and holding this, and also this stress that the huge pile of information in we are living is causing us. So it's both also privacy and stress issues connected to it. And hope I can share my next slide. So what we did, we actually enlarged the scope. So we came from engaging our employees to engage our clients as well, as we have quite many private clients and business clients. So we started to communicate to them about the digital cleanup. Direct communication is something that we did before, and this year we also launched a campaign. So using social media a lot, using PR support, and doing it in partnership. So World Cleanup Day, we are really proud to have you also on board with us and doing this together. Also Tallinn University, the Green School Network. So through these networks, I think this year we have really leveraged the problem here in Estonia. So it seems that quite many of people are already talking about it. And as I already mentioned, it's not only about the environmental aspects, which are also very important in this context, but I think this digital cleanup and the digital waste is also agenda about internal communication. So how we are actually communicating in our companies, what is efficient, what we have to keep in mind regarding privacy, security. So living in the information overload environment is something that we have to cope with. And of course, engagement of the employees. So we also created a landing page, and yesterday we had this tremendous cleanup day. So it's not enough, of course, to ask people to participate in it. What we do in addition is that the data centers actually are the main ones to blame here about the CO2 footprint, and also the devices. So what we do is we have put our data center on solar panels. We will continue to enlarge this, and we also started to sell used phones. So basically the used phones, and via this we are also preventing the problem of CO2 footprint from the devices, and also other aspects that we can do using electric cars in our company, for example. And what are the challenges? So of course it's a very nice initiative to start talking about digital waste and bringing companies and people together to do something for the environment. But what we have met during the journey is that this topic is really not covered in scientific information. We do not know whom to turn to. It's a very complex problem. So who are the experts, and who can we ask questions, because we really do have a lot of questions about digital waste. And what is important here is how to measure the problem and the impact, because this is the question we keep receiving. So how to answer that, and how to turn this digital cleanup from one campaign, one day event into everyday habit. So this is something that needs a change continuously, and how to find the right balance. So because you can actually engage people when you are not saying that you have to do this and that, because this creates this minimum willingness to be part in it. So how to find the right tone of voice in talking about digital waste and your part in it, and the new angle. I think this is something that we didn't know maybe before that clearly, that digital waste is so directly connected to security and privacy. So if I am deleting my data in my phone, is it really deleted? Because we have a partner who is buying used devices and refurbishes them and then gives them to the market again. So they are saying that 50% of the phones they are receiving still have private information in them. So half of the people giving back their phones and computers do not know how to delete all in it. So this is a problem, and it's really a problem when we are selling or giving our devices like to the persons we know. So because this this really creates more risks of publishing your private information. So this is something that is really crucial, I think, to all of us, and we need to address these questions more and more. And it's not only about the phones and computers. So more and more things are connected into internet, like your watches, your cars, your television. So what kind of data is behind it? So this is also a part of the problem, not only our phones. And how we talk about digital waste, not creating digital waste. So this is also a challenge for us. So how to make this campaign in the way that we are doing responsible communication and marketing and creating less digital waste. So yeah, these are the questions for the next year. And yeah, results so far. So yesterday we had this digital cleanup day, and we had target to ourselves that we will increase the participants regarding the organizations by 50%. So we have reached it, and compared to the last year when we had 150 companies and organizations joined, now we have 270. So it's quite a lot more than 50% that we increased, and in these companies, we see really, really big institutions like Tartu University, Estonian Railway. So very, very big organizations where a lot of employees are involved. So we, of course, will continue the problem together with the World Cleanup Organization. And already, yeah, in the next year, we would like to do it more strongly together. So this is our experience. Yeah, thank you. So any questions to me?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
The two speakers already talked about whatever we delete from our digital platforms, that maybe it is not really deleted, and that there is a privacy and security problem that many people experience. So where does go the things that we delete? In my opinion, it is always somewhere in a dustbin, somewhere on the ocean that grows and grows. And I think if we delete something here, it is stored extra somewhere else. Is that true or is that not true? It is.
I don't know. I do not have the answer for you, but I know that if you, of course, like my personal experience, I'm deleting something, I think it's deleted, but then it's still in the trash. I have to delete this trash again and then again and again and again and again. And it's a problem, yes.
Yeah, but if we delete our trash bin on our computer, rumors say that it is always kept somewhere. If we don't have a solution for that, that's what I had. I was talking with the press, and they said, "Sorry, this digital cleanup, we don't believe it is too. This is not going to work. We are not supporting something that we cannot believe in." So maybe is the right angle, maybe from digital cleanup to digital awareness, that we have to focus more on the digital awareness, that we can create a better impact for the planet if we are more aware of the right habits, like turn down your computer, etc. The longevity of the hardware, etc. Because if you cannot, as an expert, give me the answer when it is deleted, that it is not deleted, that it still uses energy and electricity, etc. And I'm not satisfied by sitting all day long in front of my computer deleting all kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I get your point. So as I told it at the very beginning, so this topic is really complex because you keep having questions, what is happening then and then and then and then. So of course, I'm not the expert on that issue, but what I can say that if you delete the things in your phone, you still have more capacity in your phone. So what Kevin also told, that it's actually connected with using your devices for a longer time. So this is something that everyone understands. So it's an option to talk about things in this way. But I think, yeah, what is under our attention right now is, yes, this deleting for the good. So this privacy problem connected to the waste. And this is a really, really important question. So if I'm selling my car to another person, can the new owner access my data from the clouds and so on? So it's getting complex more and more.
I talked to.
Yeah, if I may, it really depends where the data is stored as a first. Also, if it's stored on the cloud, most likely there will be a copy somewhere else. If it's stored on your computer locally, if you delete it, it will stay a bit of in your computer, but you will rewrite on the top by using it again.
If I also may to add one comment, I really liked or made me think the comment of one IT guru who said that the digital files, this is like a plastic. It never goes away. They always stay in the world. You may delete or just discard as you do with the physical plastic, but it always stays there in the world. So. Because there is always some copy of the copy of the copy.
There was a nice remark of Nastasia from Russia. She said, is it maybe good that we have to ask hackers to see what really happens with the thing, because they have access that we not even are aware of or think of.
I have a question on this topic, because most recommendations we just heard are how we can manage our personal data, our personal devices, and so on. But I really feel that a main driver of all the problems is caused by larger companies, by phenomena like big data storage and so on, and big data analysis. And how can we put pressure to prevent the problems caused by this?
Maybe we have to try to do a digital reset and education from childhood on, because all these children are already using their telephones, and instead of we have to educate from the beginning, at very young age, that they are aware of the problems that have been described today. We are not aware of that digital monster that is following us and the shadow that it lays on the planet by just watching a nice video. Children are watching their tablets for more and more hours a day. It is increasing, and they are not aware of what they are doing. So we need to start, I think, there. It's like, as we have to tell them that you do not litter. Using your computer and your phone is permanent littering, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, education is one point, but also to look for alternative, to look for different way of doing without this big data companies. Because yeah, there are some alternatives. They are not really known because they don't have the same marketing force, but some alternative exist. At least almost lots of in France. I don't know in every country, but I'm sure that the same type of alternative existing in most of the countries.
But I think the data holders, the data centers are also doing their part, how to be more green, how to be less less harmful for the planet. So I think this is not only our personal responsibility to be more free of digital waste, but Google and the other ones have to find solutions how to be green. So as you showed before, like 80% from these data centers, the energy is coming from fossil fuels. So this is the part that has to be changed.
And some law are coming as well. So GDPR is one law for European for privacy, but some environmental law are coming as well. So different law are coming. Know that we 15 days ago we signed the first law of environmental impact in France for digital. So it's coming. So we will continue the workshop. So I'll share my experience of this digital cleanup in France September last. Okay, so in France last year, so we decided to launch the digital in January last year, and it really take place during the lockdown in March. So we started to talk about this topic at this moment to set up the digital cleanup in September. The way that we did work in France is that we made association between two non-profit organizations. So one is the World Cleanup Day France, and the other is the Sustainable IT Institute in France, which is specialized in all the issue of impact of digital. And we create what we call the Cyber World Cleanup Day, related to the cyber security, related to the cyberspace, everything. So it's we started this project together last year. Basically, the project was officially launched in June last year, so basically 3 months before the date in September. We had almost 150 cleanups in France, organized by a bit more than 100 organizers. We provide some toolkits for organizer, so to organize their cleanups, to communicate, to raise awareness, because it was one of the topic regarding the question that we had a few minutes ago. For us, the digital cleanup is really the most important thing is really about raising awareness. Cleaning the data is one thing, it's the way of doing it, but to raise the awareness, it was one of the main topics that we wanted to put in this digital cleanup in France, to clean the data and to share together through webinars. So we decided to invite the organizers that with a plan that they do it, they organize like an event to clean the data together, and send an email to all the people saying, okay, today is a digital work cleanup day, and clean your data. The idea was really to set up an event to do it together. During 15 minutes of this event, we had a briefing to raise awareness. Why this project? What are the environmental impacts? So we had some video that we did provided to the organizers. We had some slides we did provided as well to do this briefing. After we had some times to prepare to measure our impact, to clean to make action and to clean the data, and at the end really to measure the data. The measurement that we took this is the numbers from the national agency, environmental agency. It's 1 megabyte of data is equivalent to 19 grams of CO2. So this is the measure, based on these measures that we calculated in France. And after we provided different tools like slides and some practical things. So we had quite lots of feedback on the returns on the social network. We have some people who did organize it physically. So they did organize it like a breakfast, and after they cleaned the data together. Some people did it online through webcam. And some other people did it outside in the courtyard of their enterprise, or their company, to do it. We had some press who did relay, like Le Monde, which is one of the national media in France, which relayed the operation. And also we've been on the, it was a combination of World Cleanup Day and Digital Cleanup on the TV to talk about the both of the operation. So as I said, we have 50 cyber cleanups, 107 organizers. 70% of the people, well, type of people that have participated are enterprise or companies. Very few schools for last year, and very few citizens, but the mainly companies. Also because the main population of members for in a sustainable institute, IT institute, is that they are companies. So it was mainly of the members who participate. So we did deleted the amount of almost 22 terabytes of data, which is quite a lot for, or quite good at least, for a first edition. And we made some equivalents to CO2 and to give some inputs to for feedbacks. Now the next part was supposed to make you work, but I know that sorry, I lost his name from the agency, was to leave in 15 minutes. So we'll change a bit the agenda to give the word to the presentation for 2021 plans from the digital level. Don't know if he's back.
Yes, Kevin, I'm back.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So, and as I understand, I'm perfectly hearable. And did I understand that you gave it to me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know that you have to leave after.
Yes, thanks. So, hello, I am Silvar, and about me, a few words. Then I am from the agency Silvar PPDO, and I'm working with Võrk Cleanup Day since the very beginning. Also, it dates back to 2016 when we started to establish the brand and communication principles. And we have also worked on this year a digital cleanup campaign. But as it's always with these Võrk Cleanup Day activities, it's wise to do it locally, because we in the Tallinn, Estonia, doesn't understand really how does it work, let's say in Japan or Guatemala or somewhere. But I will share my screen. And I just give you some inspiration for about what we came up with, and maybe you can find the good ideas from there that you can use as well in your country. So, can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
Super. So my today topic is mindfulness and digital exorcism. And wait a second, doesn't work really well. I hope now it's better. So mindfulness and digital exorcism is my today topic, and I hope to share some inspiration for you. So the main question is, how can you come up with an inspiring creative campaign? And there is a thing about creativity, that what it is actually. And I would say that this is the art of saying right things in a new, meaningful way. So, and the meaningful here is really important, because what's meaningful for one person shouldn't be for the another, and maybe some cultural contexts are different. And so it's really important to get this part right. So first, we always ask ourselves that who are we talking to? This is really important, because if you understand the person you are talking to, you can understand also how you would like to proceed with your ideas. And this is necessary to understand the cultural context, so you can find some reference points that you can relate to. And based on that, only then can you find the relevant connection with them. So now we share some insightful questions that help, at least helped us to come up with good ideas, and hope you will get some inspiration as well. And I would say that my first question would be, but what if you were acting so stupid in offline world? So like you are doing things really stupidly online, but what if you carry it to the offline? So to your everyday life. And I think that Delia already covered the topic that take out the trash. That's really insightful and good to think. So this way, but also I thought that maybe there are so many in your life, if there are so many stupid copies, that let's say that you don't get the newspaper, you get the free newspapers just in case. You always, if you get some working papers, you never throw them away, and also photocopying them and storing in large quantities in your house, in your neighbor's house, in somewhere neighborhood warehouses and so on. So you can just easily show how stupid your everyday life would be if you do it in the same way as you do it online. Now, let's say the other topic that came to my mind was that, how do people keep themselves clean in this mindfulness area? And as you can understand, this is really some urban thing. So a lot of young urban people nowadays are talking about mindfulness, talking about some mental practices. And this is something that helps them keep their sanity. But one thing they are always doing is detoxing. So it's a big thing these days, and especially in the city, in the young people areas. And on top of that, we introduce digital detox. This means that the practice when you spend 10 minutes every day on your devices and practice digital cleansing. So you eliminate the digital toxins that occupy your systems, because your device is your temple. So based on how people are seeing mindfulness in their real life, they should also understand it in digital world. So, and based on also cultural references, and I came to the idea that what happens to deleted files? And so let's say the task that do deleted files go to heaven? And yeah, sadly no, because they're trapped somewhere between the existence and non-existence. And I would say this is why you need the File Exorcist. And the File Exorcist, why you need it, it's really because deleted files become eternally trapped in some kind of a hell between existence and death. And the files' physical bodies are tortured in servers, and they never get the final rest that they have so would like to. And so my idea would be here that it's time to practice some digital exorcism for every one of us. and help to free the souls of females, files, and the backed up data. So if this is something you would like to do, come on, do it. Yeah, but I would say that movies have a lot of good parallels because they are so universal and understandable the same way all around the world. And if I remember correctly, that according to the film, we are living in the sixth matrix. It has uploaded from the backup files about 6 times. So maybe it's time to delete this matrix backup after all and get our minds free. So another cultural reference. But what I would like you to do, I gave some very different directions now where you would where you can go and where we can go. But to go on from this point, I would ask you to go to the menti.com, enter this number you can see on the screen, and you can vote which direction you would think that you would go in your own country, in your keeping in mind that who are you talking to in this campaign if you want to do the digital. So go to menti.com and enter this number and you can vote there. So I will bring it up on the screen. So, and let's see that you have 1 minute. So meanwhile, I just cover it once again that the first one, the stupid copies, is really this kind of a serious one. So you don't fool around a lot. The digital detox is clearly to some young urban people, and all these mindful practices and so on. And finally, all the movie references or the entertainment, it's about you can play wild here. So I would say that this is the File Exorcist. So okay, 10 minutes. I see that there is not so much voting. I think
actually I have voted, but maybe can you refresh?
Yes, I will just show the results. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yes. So we understand that digital detox is really the winner here, and this is really a nice way to continue with that, because it's not too edgy, it's safe, and but it has some really good like a kick in there. So, but just one more thing. Just to remind you that as we are practicing detoxing and exorcism, then if you made a copy of or saved it somehow, then delete this, because it's also part of the problem. So yes, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any question for Silvar before we go to other activities?
Yes, please, what's the
you have
code?
a few minutes left.
Silvar, could you type the code to the...
You are late. You are late, Ingrid. Don't talk too much.
I was too late jumping between
yeah,
the
but you can do it in the evening, I guess.
Yeah, I will try it again.
Mm-hmm. But thank you for listening. And if you come up with any great questions, or you want to share some ideas, then I will be here in the evening as well. So join us again. So, but on my side, thank you. We'll see you.
Actually, I have a short question, maybe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'll turn on my camera. I did not really get why it is so important to delete files that I have maybe, for example, stored on my laptop, because they're not online. They're stored on my hard drive, and for now, I don't need the space. So why would I need to delete the files?
It's more like, yes, it's true that if they are on your hard disk, they don't get doubled up on online. But the case is that most people are using or storing their things online. And this is more about the habits. And let's say that you are the one of the few persons who will keep it safely on your hard drive. But on the other hand, if we go to the very small details, you understand that every writing to the hard drive, every reading from the hard drive, it takes a bit of energy. And also there are some theories that on the quantum level, data has a mass as well. So they're saying that one day our mass of the data will be so big that it has consequences on the cosmological level.
Do you have a paper on this topic? Sounds very interesting.
I can search, but it was more like a theory proposed by quantum physicists. But I can check if I find the article, and of course I can share it.
Yeah, it would be very cool. I will leave my mail in the chat.
And I would also add that the digital detox is especially important with the mobile phones, because there is the data is being backed up to the cloud. And commonly people make during the year thousands of photos, hundreds of videos. And I would say that probably half of them could be deleted.
Yeah, especially in messengers. I think it's enormous what messengers like WhatsApp and Telegram and so on can generate on data.
Exactly.
Yeah, and especially if you delete your messages or even photos from the chat, it's very likely that they still will stay in the cloud as a backup.
Okay, we go on. Anneli, will you share the feedback from 2020 at the global level?
Yes, sure. So now we are going back to year 2020, and I share the birth of Digital Cleanup Day. So why we started and when we started. So the first Digital Cleanup Day took place on 22nd of April 2020. And there was mainly three reasons why we organized Digital Cleanup Day. The first one, of course, was because we were forced to do it because of COVID-19. So we had agreed with Earth Day that we are organizing great global cleanup, but of course we couldn't do it, and that's why we were looking for the action which we can do, basically not moving from the couch or chair. And Digital Cleanup Day is the activity which you can do from home. The second reason is that if you dig into digital world, so you understand that the digital world has a huge impact on the environment. People used to think that if you are in the digital world, this is separately from the physical world. And what you are doing there, it has no impact on the environment, but it's not true, as you already heard from the previous speakers. So everything what you do in the digital world has an impact. And maybe we see that every act what we do there has a really small impact. But if we take all the people in the world who has the connection to the internet, then the joint impact is really, really huge. And the third reason why we started with Digital Cleanup Day is that I personally believe that what we do in a digital world, the habits, what we are practicing there, they are also aligning with the physical world. So if we are acting responsibly in digital world, so we are doing most probably it also in the physical world as well. So these are the main reasons why we organized the digital cleanup. And we started quite late with the preparation for the digital cleanup day, and I'm really glad that all Let's Do It World network was engaged to the campaign. And many leaders in Let's Do It World, they were engaged personally and helped to promote it. So, for example, I just give you some examples. So here is Kate from Ghana on the picture. Yeah, me too. And then Nima Sara from Iran, Ghaffar from Nigeria, our dear president from headquarters, and so on. But still the question remains, so how to make this topic understandable to people? Because the digital world impact is something really abstract. So if we are talking about CO2, kilowatts or gigas, so it doesn't tell anything to people, and they don't understand how it can affect the environment. And that's why we tried to draw the examples from the activities which is familiar to people. So to visualize the facts somehow. There are some examples in social media. Of course, this is the visuals, and there was also text which described what it means. For example, so if we said that all the internet has the same impact as the airline industry, it means that all the internet produce the same amount of CO2 as the airline industry, which is actually, we know that has big pollution or is really polluting industry. And also we, for example, said that every email which you send out, it produces around 4 grams of CO2. This is based on Mike Berners-Lee facts. And if 4 grams seems quite a low impact, then if you take, for example, all the British people, and if all people in UK refuse to send out the one thank you email per day, and British people are really polite people. So if you refuse to send out one thank you mail per each day, then we can save same amount of CO2 as 81,000 individual flights from London to Madrid. So these are the examples which makes people understand that it has the impact. Of course, we can argue a lot about the numbers, and Elo already told that there is no so much scientific proof. So we actually don't know if this email produce exactly 4 grams of CO2. Or maybe it's more, or maybe it's less, and I think that it's not important. With this campaign, we raise awareness about the impact of digital world, that people understand that these two worlds, they are not existing separately, and everything what we do in the digital world, it has the impact. So, and what we ask people to do, again, we said mainly six activities, which is really affordable to people. It's really to follow. The first, delete the blurry photos and videos in your computer. it's very often is that we take from the same situation many photos, you know, to be sure that we get the best moment. But then after that, it's reasonable to delete all the duplicates. And the same thing about the videos. The second thing what we advised to do was take a look to the emails and unsubscribe all the newsletters, which you don't need actually. And I believe many people have a lot of newspaper which you just delete, but it's better to unsubscribe so you will not get them anymore. The third one, what we also proposed was the take a look to the old accounts. So we also received a lot of feedback during 22nd of April that people founded old accounts and they founded old photos and old files in some clouds and they were not even aware of them. And also, as Elo said already, that it's also a security question. So if you have old accounts somewhere, so it also can be hacked. And the last one, what we proposed was that take a look at all the apps and programs what you don't need. And definitely you have in the smartphone and you also have in your computer some apps and the programs what you don't need, but they still have some movements in the background which you don't notice. In the digital world, exactly the movement of the files produce CO2, it consumes energy, and that's why it's important that that you delete unnecessary programs and apps. So the Digital Cleanup Day on the 22nd of April was, I believe it was a big success. We don't know actually how many people participated. Based on the feedback, based on the media coverage, I believe that there was hundreds of thousands of people who participated despite of short notice. But again, it's not a real goal to calculate the numbers of participants, but it's more about starting the discussion about the impact of the digital world and start practicing the digital hygiene. So which is, I hope that it would be as normal as washing the hands in a couple of years. So and that's why we engage Digital Cleanup also to World Cleanup Day this year. And you already heard the best practice from France, which was really excellent. And we also understood that the Digital Cleanup Day deserves to have a separate day. And we are going to organize it this year on 20th of March. And why it's separate day? It's because the topic of digital trash is really, really complex. And there is a lot of communication and a lot of messages which we need to deliver to the audience in order to make people understand what it is and why it's important. So this is really quick overview about the Digital Cleanup Day last year, and I'm really looking forward to this year Digital Cleanup Day. So over to you, Kevin.
Thank you. Okay. So next step is to get a bit of your feedback, of your expectation for organizing digital cleanup in your country. And what we will do, and I may need some help from Remio or Anneli to go to breakout rooms. So the idea is that we will divide how many people we have. 24 people. So maybe we can do like four groups of 6, something like that. So we can discuss together what's your feeling, what will you be your needs for organizing a digital cleanup regarding the discussion that we had, and what your expectation and eventually what's your plan for this year. And after we come back in about 5-6 minute time to share together feedback from the groups.
Breakout rooms are ready, and I will open them now.
Okay, perfect. So we go to the breakout room and we're back in 5 minutes.
Hello, hello everybody. So hello people, does anybody have ideas about digital cleanup plans?
Okay, I think we are all back. Do we want to anyone want to share what's happening, what has been discussed in their group? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
We can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay, share then discussing in the group.
Yeah, I didn't see who want to speak.
In that group, what we had now, or what?
Oh, sorry, I was mute. I was saying that yeah, if you want to start, Stella, and we can have another group after. Okay.
I learned now from this group that there will be the cleanup day, and if we will organize a cleanup in our NGOs, and I said that on my part in Austria, we will announce it on our Facebook site and on our social media sites, and but actually I'm not a good guide with all this digital stuff, because I don't use so much digital stuff, and I even had today problems with the screenshot from the laptop. I had to ask other people, how to do that, and so it would be helpful for me if there would be a short video from you in English, so so that people could do this, because my English is also not very good. I'm saying always and this does not look really professional.
Thank you, Stella. And anyone else want to share what has been discussed in their group? Don't be shy.
Maybe I can try.
Yeah.
We had an interesting group because yeah, I asked, similar to Stella, I'm located in Germany, and I asked for maybe information in form of infographics and videos, or maybe not videos because they're quite data consuming, but but short and compact messages that we can share on Facebook, and that will easily spread because they're kept the attention. And we had another participant from I forgot the exact country, unfortunately, but from an African country, who said that it's difficult for him because people there mostly only speak local languages and not English, and have limited access to internet and to platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. And how can we communicate the message to these people too?
Yeah, this is a challenge of the global divide, that some people doesn't have internet or good access to internet. This is an issue that needs to be addressed in the digital world. And unfortunately, I don't have the right answer or the answer.
But maybe that's also a topic we should
exactly.
should communicate. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any
can I come in?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that brother was talking about, because I'm the one who raised that topic about we have a very limited people who get access to the internet or who speak English. It's only few people in our community. Most of them don't go to school. They don't have the opportunity to complete their school. So we are trying to communicate with them face to face, or to gather them one place to talk to them. Or for us, those who have the opportunity to go to school, we are the one who always try and start this initiative, and we also bring them so that they can understand or they so that they can join us. But it is not easy for us, especially this digital. Not everyone understands it. Even some people who've been to school, not everyone is connected to this internet, or maybe one way or the other is very expensive for us. Not everyone can use the. It's data consuming, because as I'm speaking here, I don't have a Wi-Fi. I bought by airtime so that I can use the internet or just to take part of this part of this educative forum. It's not easy. That's why we have faced many challenges in this, and I'm seeking. I don't know how we will come up with some. When are we going to consider these people also, and how we should consider these people also. I think I'm going too far. I'm sorry. I think I will stop here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for this sharing, and we know that it's a big issue, and there is something I think something to be addressed. Unfortunately, we are getting to the end of this session, and we have to leave the room to another session. So I will thank you, everyone. We have another session on this topic this evening, 6 o'clock UTC, I think. I'm not really good with UTC time.
Sorry, Kevin, for interruption. Can we get your video back for the final words?
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah, okay.
Is there room for one more question, or is it finished?
Yes, there is.
Okay. We had in our group, someone brought up that in the academic world, for instance, she wanted to address the topic of digital cleanup in the academic world. And in many ways, or often if there is a money aspect involved, if you can economize on a better cleanup or storing data in your own facilities instead of following the blah, blah, blah of the big data companies, have we looked into that? If we can offer companies or organizations like universities something that is money driven?
For companies and for people who have lots of data, it can be money driven because they might do some saving on their IT infrastructure. But for individual, unfortunately, today with the GAFAM, with the Google, Amazon, and who are offering like free space and everything, it's very difficult to go to this point of money driving, because there are free access to some tools. So, and as some people said that if it's free, you are the product. So they just you have free access to the data, to the Dropbox and everywhere, but your data is just used as the money to pay for it.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for your attention, for your participation, and yeah, for the ones who want to join us this evening, 6 o'clock UTC. And if not, I will wish you a very good digital cleanup, and keep update on the results from every country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, and see you around on the conference.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.